Hello, I'm Brandon Fisher, Technology and Communications Director here at Arkansas Valley Electric, and today we are going to walk through some Christmas dishes that we love at the Fisher household and that I'm excited to share with you. So the first thing that we're going to do with our ham is you get your favorite ham. Mine is Kentucky Legend, Hickory smoked. Amazing slab of ham here. I like buying them pre-cooked so you don't have to worry about anything other than getting it up to temperature. This ham here is about 7 pounds, so you want to plan on 20 to 30 minutes a pound for it to get done at 250 degrees in the smoker. I tend to use just competition blend smoking pellets on our smoker here, so hopefully this will be done in 2.5 to 3 hours. I assume you're... What is this? The knife does not have a tip to it.
The co-op needs better knives.
Yeah, we do need better knives. So you want to try to use a knife better than we have here. I've been subjected to a knife without a point on it. I feel like it was a setup, but we're gonna go through. I like to cook these in a pan for a couple reasons. One, you don't want to dry these things out, and you'll see in a step later that we will use the pan to help us keep this ham moist. You can season it with whatever that you want to, and I should note I am not an expert smoker. Amateur would be giving me the benefit of the doubt, but I do cook a lot, so I like sweet things with ham. So I have a brown sugar seasoning here. I also don't get too out of control with it, so we just want to sprinkle this on our ham. I also don't put a base or anything to it. I just want to get a little bit of a season on it. This was already pre-cooked and hickory smoked, so there's already going to be some flavor that you're going to get just from re-smoking it. In 45 minutes, we will come back and we will go through our next step of preparing our Christmas ham. So we talked about getting the ham to that 140 temperature. Always you want to use a meat thermometer, and I just try to place it in the thickest portion of the ham. This is the benefit to having these hams pre-cooked. You're just worried about getting it to 140, so you don't want to dry it out. So I like probing the thickest piece of the ham when I put it in. That way you can keep up with it, and that's going to be important for later steps of getting this thing cooked. Alright, now that we have our hams on the smoker, we're going to start preparing a favorite around the Fisher household, and that is cracked corn dip. You need 2 cans of whole kernel sweet corn. Drain the corn. Very, very important step in this process. So we will take these 2 cans of sweet corn and get them into our mixing bowl. We will take 1 cup of sour cream. Pro tip, if you need 1 cup, buy the 8 ounce. So now we also need a cup of mayonnaise. And what I like to do, you can keep yourself from dirtying up more things that you're going to have to wash at the end. Take your sour cream 8 ounce cup that you just used, put your mayonnaise in there, bam, you didn't dirty up a measuring cup. Now that we have our cup of mayonnaise and cup of sour cream, we want to take a teaspoon of garlic. Could be a clove of garlic if you're more into the actual garlic cloves. We're going to take a teaspoon, measuring by heart here, folks. Put that in there, and there is our teaspoon of garlic. Now we're going to do 2 bottles of either real bacon bits or real bacon pieces. Just depends on how you're feeling for the day. Another pro tip, make sure the bottle packaging doesn't end up in the cracked corn dip. You don't want to be embarrassed at the Christmas table. Also on the bacon, obviously, if you want to get fancy, you can cook your own bacon. I go for the easy route and we get it pre-bottled. Now, we just want to be very careful, just a dash of onion powder. You don't need much. And we are just going to do a little bit of garlic powder. It calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder. If you get over or under a little bit, it's not going to matter. The stuff's going to be delicious. Ranch seasoning, Hidden Valley at the Fisher household. That's the only thing that we'll do. We just take this and pour it in our mixing bowl. So the next thing you want to do is you want to take your green onions, get ready to cut these bad boys up. Recipe calls for a 1/4 cup. I usually just take 4 and get to chopping. And while I'm chopping these, I am going to explain a little bit about what I do at the co-op. So I am the manager of technology and communications, and I get the privilege of managing around 30 people that are in the communications department, which consists of our MSRs who answer our phones, our billing specialist who makes sure all bills are correct and that they're paid, and then our multimedia and our public relations folks, which is Miss Emily and Barbara, who do a great job in things such as this cooking show, the Arkansas Living magazine. All of our social media outlets are managed by those two, and that's the communications part of the department. We also, the energy auditing folks fall under that umbrella as well. And then in the technology side, I have the privilege of managing the folks that take care of all of our computer software, all of our computers, our mobile devices, and the folks that are responsible for our mapping. And they also get to use drones and all that cool stuff. And I feel like I'm very privileged to be working with the 25 to 30 folks that I get to work with every day, because they're super awesome, and they're not unlike every employee that we have here at the co-op. I said I was going to do that and chop these onions, but I got scared about cutting myself. I try to keep them somewhat small, and what I like to do on these is get them down to the actual leafy part of the onion, and then when we get it down to that part, we'll just put all of these stems together and we'll cut them like that.
What's your favorite part about working at the co-op?
Favorite part about working at the co-op undoubtedly are the folks that you get to work with. I truly work with some amazing individuals, not only the ones that I have the privilege of managing that are in my department, but also just folks that are in other departments that we get to work with on a daily basis. It's super awesome to work in an environment where you do get along with folks. We say all the time, we're with each other at work as much as we are with our families. So if you don't get along with people, it's probably going to be a long work week. But truly, I think that there's an environment of caring here at the co-op, and I would like to say more than anything that we're a big friend group. We work together, we work well together, and we know what we have to get done, but we also consider each other friends. So I think my favorite part of the co-op is getting to work with awesome folks, and then also getting to serve our membership at a high level. Our members are the reason that co-ops exist. We're the reason that we've existed for over 80 years. So being able to serve the great people in the 14 counties that we do makes getting up and coming to work every day super easy and super fun. And now, last but not least, you take your cup of shredded cheddar cheese, now that we have our cracked corn stirred, found a trusty bag of chips that you can dip this stuff in. You always want to taste test it before you give it to someone else. Make sure it's good. Just as we expected. So now you can eat it. If you're good to go, I like putting it in the refrigerator for a couple hours, getting it chilled, and then putting it out on the table, ready for Christmas dinner. Our ham's been on the smoker now for about 45 minutes. So what we want to do, we will want to either spray bottle or use a ketchup, mustard type bottle to get some liquids on these hams so that they don't dry out. Just baste these things with, you can use whatever you want. I like sweet hams, so I got just plain apple juice, Mott's apple juice, but you can also use apple cider vinegar, anything sweet that you want to. I've seen folks use pineapple juice before, and you just put these bad boys on there, and like I said, it's not adding a ton of flavor. We just want to make sure that the hams aren't drying out. We want to get our hams up to 130 degrees. So we want to get an internal temperature of 140, but we want to keep an eye on our internal temperature. And once we get to around 125 to 130, we are going to go back to the kitchen and we're going to make up a glaze that we're going to baste these things with about the last 30 minutes that they're on the smoker. We have our hams at almost 130 internal temperature, so now it's time to make our glaze that we are going to put on top of the hams for the last 15 to 30 minutes. And we're going to start with a cup of brown sugar. Now this is going to be per ham, and we are currently cooking 3 hams for our company potluck. And then there is 3. I'm making a huge mess. Put enough honey in here to have it, when it starts to melt, that it is a liquid. And I don't go easy on the honey. I do have to point out that this is Fisher's honey. We dropped the C and it would be perfect. Okay, so we have this on our burner and we are just going to cook it until it starts simmering. And once it starts simmering and we stir it, the brown sugar will turn into a liquid. Now that our hams are at 130, we're going to take our glaze that we just made. We're going to open up our smoker and we're just going to pour this stuff on. Typically, like we said, there's usually about 15 to 30 minutes left when we do these. So we want to take our brush that we've been using, just baste them on top. We've just got done slicing our ham that we've been working all day on, and it looks delicious, but before we give it a test, I want to wish everyone that's watching a very Merry Christmas from the Arkansas Valley Electric family, and we hope that your holiday season's filled full of blessings, love with friends and family, and we just appreciate all of our members and everyone out there. Merry Christmas.